Team Olive coming up, of course, a very popular team from Europe. So, I mean, we'll have to see what happens. Whether the top minds of Saikai can keep Olive in check.
Yeah, I mean, we've been able to see these kind of teams play at the top level game after game, set after set, and it looks like we're getting this set underway, actually. It looks like Olive in the blue and Saikai in the light green, as we're going to be able to see them duke it out on Port Mackerel Rainmaker. And Shaka is actually going to go down instantly to the burst of that Rainmaker bubble. It looks like Olive is going to be able to start off really aggressively here.
Yeah, and it seemed as though Shaq was trying to go for a fast pop that his team wasn't helping him with, so hopefully there's no miscommunication problems there. We've got Urza being a little bit too cheeky there and getting surrounded by pretty much the entirety of Saikai right there. So now game... Or game, I don't think that's gamer. I'm going to end up calling him gamer several times. Brandon, meanwhile, playing Hop the Stingray or whatever in mid, but Sendu comes in from the side.
Ooh, nice 1v1 happening there in the middle. Both going to go down. Nike going to clean up just a little bit there and help burst this Rainmaker, as they have some semblance of in control ahead of them. And it's going to be on the arms of Sendu and all of the above to get it out of the way. But unfortunately, Nike going to go down to the flank by Chip. And it's going to look like that's BLACKBELLY. He's going to at least help move this Rainmaker out, or at least it seemed like it for a second before Dude seemed to say, hey, we're not going to have any of that. We've already moved this Rainmaker into a somewhat favorable position. Let's keep it right here. But it's incredibly back and forth as of now. Once again, Saikai able to take this fight this occurrence, but I mean, in the next 20 seconds, we'll see them go in a team fight again, and we'll probably see the opposite happen.
Yeah, and it seems as though, I gotta say, first of all, Chip is playing a heavy Splatling. I have never seen him play anything other than, like, brushes and, like, other short-range stuff before.
Right.
So that's a thing that's happening. I can see why, obviously, with the Stingray. Meanwhile, we've got Saikai trying to get a push together against 3 specials up from Olive, which ends about as much as well as you'd expect. We've got Nike, so Nike and Dude have basically been holding the defense this entire time, and they've done quite a good job of it so far, as you can tell by the scoreline. But at the same time, people just seem to be dropping sort of almost randomly left and right. Shaq in here with the inkjet got a cross map pick on Nike right there. So that's going to be one of the sort of telling parts of this matchup, is whether or not even one of these teams can make something of these kinds of haphazard picks that they seem to be getting.
Yeah, I'm not gonna front, man. This is seeming like a really scattered-brained effort from both teams. Like, I don't really see a lot of cohesion on either side of the map. Like, it's. I mean, we have Sendu and Dude here getting in like a 2v2 with what seems like it might be some decent thing of a push. But again, he doesn't really have much support beyond Dude. Urza was right behind him, but unfortunately going to go down instantly. There doesn't really seem to be a concerted effort during which 3 or 4 of them are alive at the same time within the same, locking arms or whatever. That being said, 2 kills down from the behalf of Brandon. It looks like they might be able to start this push. If not for Urza kind of creeping here, he's able to at least spot out this Rainmaker, but unfortunately called out by Saikai. Finally, maybe some calm times here for Saikai, as it seems like they're going to move it back to the middle. But once again, with 1 minute and around 30 seconds left to go, it's looking like we have quite the game here of back and forth. And so it looks like Sendu here, being able to get that direct nicely done on his part. 4 gaming here once again. Saikai is getting control. It's super back and forth, but that's 3 down. He might be able to move it himself if he so chooses to. I mean, Nike is the only one protecting this. They should be able to at least get the lead here, but they're gonna play this one patiently. It's a wall of 4th in Team Olive, and Brandon being the only one to kind of flank around. He is able to get one. Urza's taken care of. They're gonna be able to get the lead. And if you look at that movement across the map, so beautifully done. Olive is going to guess to go to the left side of the map to get the Rainmaker, but at the same time as they choose to do so, it looks like Team Olive is going to fail to get that Rainmaker, and Saikai, pulls the trigger and moves on in with that Rainmaker. Now at the 27-point mark with around 40 seconds left to go in this one, they're going to be able to spot out Brandon and call him out just like that. But with Sendu, he's going to be able to move it up just quite a bit. It looks like they're going to be able to get the last second lead and get us to the pedestal when they had their pants down. And oh my goodness, Saikai able to come up, Team Olive's able to come up and with a response seemingly immediately. And it looks like they're going to be able to keep it at this 6 point remaining on this one. And Team Olive with kind of the upset from what we just saw a couple seconds ago. Saikai, you have 15 seconds left to go on this one. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to get it, but with that being said, they have the entirety of the map ahead of them. Team Olive, of course, they totally have the right to play aggressively here. Even if they do go down, they have plenty of time to recover. And that's going to be the Rainmaker down with 1 second left to go. And Dude is going to be able to help clutch it out via sharking and taking them out. And Saikai have got to be feeling incredibly unfortunate given the last couple of events that just came down. Team Olive is going to take this game 1-0 over them. Now, I believe we had FLC kind of dropping out for a bit. We'll see if we are able to get him on the mic as shortly as possible. If not, we might be able to get a guest appearance from Vesper. And if that is the case, I'd be happy to join my bud here, who I've seen, as recently as Squid Storm. Been casting throughout the entirety of this set. Hi, Vesper. Welcome back to the cast. Hope you're doing swell, man. I don't know if you caught a glimpse of the game one we just... Okay, word. Yeah, no, that was definitely a set that, it was back and forth over the entirety of the game, but in very much like different ways.
Yeah, it was really interesting. It seemed like both teams were having a trouble getting a push going at the start. Like everything was neutral. Every single exchange was met with a trade, and it wasn't really until like near the end of the game that Olive was actually able to find this weird opening with Nike's sloshing machine that was able to get that Rainmaker going. They had some map on the ground, or they said they had some ink on the ground in the right spots. And it was because of that Rainmaker just was able to just go. And I don't think Saikai was really ready for it. I think Team Olive got a little bit more points than they bargained for, which is always a good thing.
Yeah, no, obviously. But I mean, with that being said, we're going to move it on towards Splat Zones on KELP Dome. This one, obviously, very much back and forth as well. But I think less so than the Port Mackerel we just saw in Rainmaker. I think there's a lot more. This game type I've seen give way to a lot more 100-0s really quick off the bat. And in a lot of ways, it's kind of volatile in the kind of results it produces. I'm looking forward to seeing whether Chip actually stays with the Splatling, as he's like a noted regular brush user.
I think for a map like this, he's probably going to go Octobrush, especially on Splat Zones. I don't think we're going to see the Splatling come out for him.
Yeah, so just to make sure we are quickly in sync here, I'll be counting us down here towards the beginning. But either way, Splat Zones Game 2 on KELP Dome, as we'll be having some of the best teams of Splatoon duke it out here. And it looks like Chip is going to bring out that brush, and as we hit into the go, and we see the map overhead, there we go. As Team Olive is in purple with Saikai in green, as it looks like Team Olive is going to get quick control of, or at least a little bit of control over the middle before Sendu pressing a little bit too aggressively there. It looks like Saikai is going to maybe get a grip of this middle as Brandon Chip and 4Gamer is going to get into the middle here.
It was interesting. It looked like Sendo tried to just grab that very, very quick middle push to see if he can catch some of Saikai off guard and find those picks. But no, Saikai was ready for it, and they were able to completely stop that. And that is now 4 players down on the side of Olive. But the thing is, Saikai doesn't have control of the zone. They're still finding all these picks, but they aren't painting the zone. Finally, it's going to go in their control. That was crazy, as we are at about 4 minutes, 20 seconds, 19, 18. How are you doing, Aaron?
I'm doing good. Well, I'm at 14, 13, 12 as we're at least able to see the zone turn over here. And I mean, Nike with the rest of his team is kind of struggling right now, obviously. Struggling to get any, like, around the walls of this very solid wall of a defense coming in from Saikai. Urza at least attempting to follow up on this defensive, but unfortunately the Inkchet's going to come out and maybe gets a shot onto him. No, and not just yet. This 1v1 is still rather prolonged.
Wow, that was so close to taking out the Jet. That was huge.
It was huge, because with that being done, they're going to be able to keep that zone for longer. You see 4Gamer and Chip in the middle of the map having not much to do right now. And with 20 or so points ticking down, it looks like they're going to be able to cover the middle entryway, the easiest way to get in and delay Olive even further. 4Gamer going to move over to the left side, cover even more ground. It looks like they're finally getting in, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough as the Splashdown's going to come down. They do lose control with a couple seconds left to go. Will they be able to?
No, got it. I didn't expect that to happen. I did not expect that to happen. Olive had one last chance, and they made it work. They dropped 2 players because of it, and it looks like Saikai might be able to take control back here as long as Sendo is doing a really good job, as well as Dude there on the side, able to completely keep Chip just at bay here. He's even marked now. It's going to be hard for him to find some picks as he finally does go down to the blaster of Sendo, and Wow, Olive, I didn't think they were able to come back from that, but no, they did. Wow, what a shot onto Shaq. That was huge.
Goodness.
It's just going to accentuate Team Olive's lead right now. They need to get that zone back, but they don't have a penalty, whereas Team Saikai right now has 74 points that they need to deal with.
Yeah, on that offensive, incredible onslaught from Team Olive to be able to, with seconds ticking down, they activated 2 of their specials, a splashdown coming down at the same time. And for Saikai playing awfully defensively there, I don't really know if that was quite the answer. It seemed like they were frozen and didn't really have a response to the 2 Urza and one other from Olive coming through the middle on their play. That being done, Team Olive has been able to keep the majority of control since, and have kept the lockout. It looks like it's going to take down here unless Saikai have a last-ditch effort. They do have the ink shut down and do have the splat bombs coming down. They are going to force the loss of control with 1 point left.
Saikai does not want this one to end.
They need to get the kill on top of the zone. Dude is still alive. Inkjet doesn't last long enough, and if Dude doesn't go down, I believe they might be able to keep this one up for just enough, but unfortunately does go down near the zone, and they're going to take control and keep this one going.
Saikai does not want to take this game. They do not want it to go 2-0 for Olive right now. Saikai is fighting strong. They've got some specials ready. They got the Stingray ready at least. Brandon's going to be doing what he can to watch this break and make sure it's impossible for Team Olive to get back in here, but no. Team Saikai is in a very, very rough spot right now. They got to deal with so much penalty, and Team Olive's in a position where all they got to do is just keep refreshing that penalty. They don't even need to hold control. As long as they can keep refreshing that penalty, just run in, run all of their forces at the zone, and just paint it so that they have to deal with that penalty time and time again. That's all they need to do if they want to beat this game.
Oh, that's got to be it. No, doesn't get the 1v1 on top of Nike. Nicely done to be able to do that. Unfortunately for Saikai, as Nike's going to be able to help this offensive, and if they're able to get control of zone, I can very much see this one being it. This is far too big of a penalty if they actually do get control of zone. But yep, that's going to be a 64-point penalty applied once again. And for Saikai, you've got to be incredibly disappointed. You lost the last match on a last-ditch effort coming in from Team Olive in the last seconds, and unfortunately, the same kind of thing happening again. And now we're going to see Chip kind of move incredibly fast with that Octave Rush. We're going to move forward to where he might have been able to shark a kill or two, but unfortunately he's going to get called out by Locator for the meantime. 4Gamer going to put out a couple splat bombs for now and kind of couple that with an inkjet coming out, trying to get those bombs over the arcing wall of that middle section, but unfortunately not able to do so in time. Dude can be able to take them down, and a couple others going down at the same time. Nike can be able to help follow up his teammate Dude and help get control of the zone that way. And with 23 seconds left to go, it's looking more and more like Team Olive is going to get a 2-0 lead in this set.
And that's exactly what I said. Team Olive doesn't need to win team fights. They just need to take control of the zone and refresh the penalty. Right now, they are winning team fights, though, so it's even better than what they're looking for. And they're still winning team fights. 3 down now on the side of Saikai. All Team Olive needs to do, that's 4 down again. This game is as good as over. I don't think Saikai can make it back to the zone and paint it in time. And that's going to be Team Olive taking game 2 over Saikai in this loser's final set.
Incredibly impressive from Olive, the tenacity to kind of recover from that situation. KELP Dome often being the kind of map where it's very easy once you get that control over the objective, at least on splat zones, it's very easy to kind of zone the other team out continually over time. Unfortunately, for Saikai, they did get control of the zone. We're able to do it for a little bit, but unfortunately, their 3-minute control over zone was not enough, and dropping one time led to the tables being flipped on them. With that being said, we're going into game 3 here, and it should be tower control on INKBLOT Art Academy as we are getting things set. The score of the set really not really telling the tale of how kind of back and forth this set has been. Saikai, of course, having plenty of capable individuals as well as just being a great concerted team effort. They have a roster of 5 players typically that they kind of switch in and out of with subs, constantly happening. Unfortunately, we haven't really seen too much happen just yet, but we do see a pause in the screen right now, as actually no, they will be getting forward with this one, so no sub happening, as they're going to be able to at least say, hey, we're going to trust this lineup, or at least maybe this game type and our proficiency with it. As Team Olive, they've had a set for this game and this tournament so far, with these 4 doing such a solid job. We've seen Sendu, Urza, Nike, and Dude time and time again, and they've had all the answers so far in this set.
Yeah, definitely. And I like, I'm not sure if they were considering subbing somebody out, but I do like having Chip in their lineup for tower control INKBLOT Art Academy. Honestly, any game mode on INKBLOT Art Academy, because you can get Chip up onto their platform. And once Chip is up there sharking on the platform, this guy is always in spots that you just don't expect. Like you can try and figure out where he is all you want. You can look at VODs, you can figure out how Chip plays, and you're never going to be able to figure out where Chip is hiding on your platform on this map. It's ridiculous just how difficult it is to push into him. And because of that, I think Team Olive is actually at a disadvantage here, unless they have some sort of like really fast, long-range painting weapon that can deal with the sharking capabilities of Saikai. It's going to be difficult for them to take this match unless they can find some early momentum and just completely don't even give them the opportunity.
We'll see what happens here as we're going to be getting set with this game. It looks like, yeah, we're going to take it away to INKBLOT Art Academy. One of my favorite game, maps throughout this game. And unlike KELP Dome, you don't really tend to see, at least with tower control, a complete locking out. We'll be able to see, I think, relatively similar kind of compositions come from both teams as we get this one underway. Did we see Brandon with the Tri-Slosher last game?
I don't think so. Brandon was on the sloshing machine, I think.
Yeah, no, you're right in that one. So obviously padding on the Ink Armor for any tower control, being able to rush it with getting that team shield up. But either way, we're going to get this one underway. It looks like Mankey's going to have to retreat for just a little bit. Losing some in control is going to say, hey, you know what? Let's take it a little bit easy here and kind of back up into what might be considered a little bit more comfortable territory. In the meantime, though, no one's really quite taking control of tower. Is Shaq going to get taken down? Looking like both teams are kind of looking for openings on both sides of the map and seeing if they're able to pick one or two from unexpected territory. Sendu's going to kind of get onto the Inkjet and unfortunately going to get taken out by 4Gamer right next to him with the Rapid Blaster.
So yes, Saikai right now, again, this is similar to the very first match that we saw, and it's difficult for both teams to get a push going right here, and it's due to the team comps of both teams. They both have very, very defensive team compositions, that when they just want to sit up on the flag here, it's going to be difficult to push out. But I can tell you right now that as soon as one of these teams gets a push going, it's going to be very difficult to stop them once they're in position. And it looks like right now Team Saikai is trying to make that happen. Although Sendo here with the Inkstorm, he's going to throw that up. That's going to delay their push a little bit. The Inkjet right now is huge as they need to find ways to push onto the platform, but right now they're kind of just stuck in mid.
Yeah, right now, unfortunately, it looks like it's really hard for Saikai for Olive to kind of defend this offensive. And Splat Bomb's coming up to the left and right of them. It looks like they're going to be able to use their specials to great effect here. And Shaq is looking for any openings here, and he's going to be able to at least shark on the wall for just a bit before getting help from his teammate Chip here with that brush, and is going to back off for just a little bit. In the meantime, they have gotten to checkpoints. He does have the Inkjet available, and is going to sneak up here and maybe use it. No, actually doesn't quite pop that Inkjet. And unfortunately, I thought that might have been a great window for an Inkjet. You saw two Olive members kind of sitting to the side there, was in an unfavorable position, at least with Ink in front of him, and an inability to swing around him. So I don't know, I was kind of caught off by that one.
Okay, I like what Urza's doing here. He's trying to take the advantage of most of Saikai being down, and he's trying to push up. He actually gets 2 picks. I did not expect that to happen. He was completely called out. That is 3 players down now on the side of Saikai, and Team Olive is looking to roll with the momentum as they're going to be trying to push up, take this lead. That's the 4th player down. The last 2 are on the respawn as they need to be getting this tower up. It's looking like
that's going to be the lead
pretty soon. Yep, that's okay. The Rapid Blaster is able to take the pick, and all they got to do is throw someone else on the tower. But no, they're all out of position. It's going to be the lead, but it's not going to be much of a lead as Shaq is going to do what he can. Actually getting a really huge kill on Urza, and he's going to be doing what he can to actually push that tower back, get some more paint down in mid, and Saikai's not done yet. They did not falter. They are doing strong, and they gotta take it back here.
Yeah, no, it actually was rather important that they got that tower out with that one splat towards the end. If they hadn't done so, they had Team Olive did have 2 members to kind of get onto tower, and if Team Olive won that fight, we could have seen them on tower, inducing kind of super jumps their way and keeping the offensive in Saikai's zone. But with that being said, they're able to take control of the map, and at least, if nothing else from this offensive, at least establish some semblance of neutral control, which is important. They have 2 down right now. They're going to need all the time in the world to get back.
Right, there's just 1 Inkstorm at the ready. I'm sure it's going to be 2 very, very soon on the side of Team Olive right now. This push might be very, very huge. The Inkstorms here make that platform push very, very difficult to deal with when you're on the opposing team. But it looks like Urza was actually going down, and now that's 2 down on the side of Team Olive. Shaq in a very, very good position behind them. 3 down now, and yes, Saikai did a very, very good job defending that push. The only issue that they're having right now is that they can't get a push started.
Yeah, these pushes are... I feel bad for just even repeating this, but I think, once again, things start, things stop. It doesn't really seem like there's much of... each team kind of seems to have an answer for each other at every given step, and it's this tug of war that's really interesting to watch over time. And speaking of time, there's not really too much left of it. Splashdown activated as a kind of panic button. Urza going to go down right next to the tower there as Saikai. They've done their job in being able to start this offensive, but of course the answer has always been, can you keep that up? Looks like Shaq will be able to get that onto Dude right now. Oh, looks like the Rapid Blaster is going to get at least one spot for Shaq, but he's going to be able to at least move out of the way with 25 seconds left to go. That's for, I don't know, this is a close one.
Yeah, this is a very close one. Actually, I did not expect that Inkjet's kill to come out. Shaq's in a really rough position right now. As soon as he lands this, he might get taken out. No, actually, Saikai able to push up and defend him on that push. There's 10 seconds left in the game. Saikai needs the overtime if they want to take this, unless they get that lead right now. One more player down on all of that. Stingray is going to be huge. They need to get Urza off the tower.
They have 3 up, though. They should be able to get this.
And keep it moving. It's going to be close. There's one player left. It's moving.
In overtime.
Is going to be taking game 3. Team Olive 2-1 in the set, but Saikai, they finally got that win that they've been so close to getting in the past 2 matches.
And Saikai finally finding the answers there, as they've been looking for that for the past 3 games. And I mean, you look at the 3 still alive for Saikai, and incredibly fortunate to be able to be put in that position where they had tower going their way. And you have to look at all the other actions they took in the last minute before that push and kind of give themselves a pat on the back, because they had to really set that one up nicely for themselves in order to get that tower going. But either way, Saikai able to show up in game 3. We're going to a game 4 as it is 2-1 in favor of Team Olive.
Yeah, I don't think Saikai. I think they're still in this set. As we just mentioned, Saikai, the reason that it's 2-1 right now is because Saikai just had their victories like stolen from them. It was very, very close to being done. Just done and being a 3-0 for Saikai, but Team Olive kind of was able to just completely snatch that victory from them 2 times in a row in the first 2 games in this set. But now Saikai finally got that win that they've been so close to, and we're going to see if they can do it again in game 4 and able to force a game 5.
I just wonder, I guess, for Team Olive, I mean, you have to be somewhat knowledgeable of the fact that this is a last second push and you have at least one Stingray to deal with it. It's incredibly ideal for something like tower control, and unfortunately not able to prioritize having that special up or going down before that. I'm not sure. Either way, Rainmaker on the Reef, like KELP Dome in a lot of ways, very incredibly volatile. The first opening seconds can lead to, and often do lead to, a push that ends up carrying the kind of narrative of the game. That we've seen times even in some of our past tournaments. One of the most notable ones being Extermination coming back against Almost Kids in the last couple seconds, just coming out of nowhere with absolutely 0 momentum and able to move their Rainmaker from no offensive with 1 minute left to go to the 3-point mark. It's incredibly fast, almost one of the maps that you would consider as a kind of BLACKBELLY Rainmaker in Splatoon 2. Either way, let's get this one started, as we're going to get this view of Nike towards the middle, kind of handling a 1v1 here, or it looks like they're going to be able to at least 2v1 towards Brandon as he does go down. That's 2 down for Saikai, as they're going to get quite the rocky start here.
Rainmaker Reef is all about the team fights, and as we've seen so far in this set, Team Olive is really, really good at the team fights. It's constantly, like, you don't normally see 1 or 2 players go down at a time on Saikai, with the exception of right now, of course, as I say that. You don't normally see just 1 or 2 players drop at a time. It's normally a Team Olive taking 3 or 4 members down at once. It seems to be just the sort of coordination that they have without even, trying. And actually, Saikai is very, very far painted up right now. We got some Stingray wars going on. Actually, my apologies. This is their side of the map.
Yeah, no, and obviously Brandon going back to his side of the map to get the best vantage point with that Stingray. Unfortunately, not able to quite catch someone, but was able to spot them out and call him out to his teammate. In the meantime, is able to get rid of Dude. That is 2 down now for Olive, and they have quite the pathway in front of them with 4Gamer. Having a good amount of purple ink in front of him should be able to lead the charges. They should be able to get the lead and maybe even push to the win here.
Huge.
Yeah,
Dude. Okay, so Dude did a good job stopping that. There was, I believe, Urza from the middle who was able to, they tried to throw bombs at the new shack.
They might be able to get this.
And, they picked it up again. What was that? I don't think even Olive expected that. They reacted very, very quickly to be able to stop that. That was huge because I didn't see that, and Olive must have just seen it. And actually being able to stop that was really big. It's up to 6 points now. Olive has their work cut out.
Might be able to grab each other. How did he survive? We're going to a game 5. How did that even happen?
How is this? This is the new shack. The new shack.
That happened out of nowhere. And you saw time and time again, both us and Team Olive completely caught off guard. You saw a Rainmaker push that at its beginning, after Team Olive had gotten rid of it, they kind of spread out. They kind of spread out in a way that seemed to suggest that, one member or the other kind of suggested or assumed that one player or two players would move towards that Rainmaker and get towards it. But immediately after, Saikai pushed pop the Rainmaker incredibly quickly, moves it just enough to get it to that 6-point marker, and Olive was caught off guard. They said, okay, we need to, regroup, take some time. Let's try to find our defense here. The response was just not enough.
Right. This is what we've seen from Saikai earlier in the tournament. They're really good at doing things that you just don't expect with like their positioning, with just like the way that they handle team fights. And I think it was kind of it was kind of that caught Team Olive off guard at the end of that match. I don't think they expected Saikai to just run in and grab the Rainmaker 2 times. Obviously, they were very, very good at reacting about it, but unfortunately, it just wasn't quite enough at the end with Shaq actually able to get that knockout at the end. So fantastic play from Team Olive. Unfortunately, it just wasn't enough to deal with what Saikai was able to throw at them there.
We have seen one reverse sweep in the winners final already in this top 12 bracket, and might be another one. We're going on to BLACKBELLY Skatepark on Splat Zones, and this is one of the more, I guess, even-sided modes to play on this map. So maybe not as tumultuous as you might expect on some other modes, but either way, we're really looking forward to seeing all of what their response is, and kind of especially what the beginning of this match looks like, how they might split up. The kind of atmosphere and feel for their voice call right now. I don't know what it's got to be, but obviously with the practice they have and the time they have playing this game, they've got to know, they probably have that composure that is expected of a top team like them.
Yeah, definitely. Going into like Splat Zones, BLACKBELLY Skatepark, like all of these players are very, very experienced with this map and mode, as it's pretty much the exact same as it was from Splatoon 1. So this is definitely going to be a good match. Very, very good pick for Game 5. I honestly don't know if I can pick which team I think is going to be in favor of. I think it might be Saikai, just because of how well they are at like pushing up and hiding their shards and preventing the enemy team from pushing back into the middle of the map. But as we've seen from a lot of matches and tournaments in the past, Team Olive is very, very good at being in a position where they need to push back in. They're very good at dealing with being locked out and able to push back into the middle of the map when the opposing team has control.
We see Team Olive in the light blue and Saikai in the purple as we get this one underway here. Chip and Urza going to get on top of the middle tower with a 1v1, but Urza, unfortunately, versus the brush is not.
How did neither of them die there?
I do not know. I have absolutely no answer for you. Either way, Brandon going to go down in the middle of the zone. Chip going to go down on top, and it looks like 3 down for Saikai as Team Olive finally finding their stride, finally finding that answer. They do spot out a super jump to the left, Kingstorm coming out as well, and they spot a ton of them out to this left side, but unfortunately they didn't have the manpower to actually have the immediate response they wanted to. Only one player to counter that 2v1, and it's looking like Shaq and the boys might be able to move it back to the middle.
Shaq and the boys, what a great call out for that for Team Saikai there. No, like Saikai has been doing. I was about to say they're doing a great job just kind of holding control here and keeping Team Olive at bay, but Team Olive got a very, very key pick there, and they're able to get some points on the board. Team Olive has to deal with an entire 101 points on the board now. Team Saikai does. Olive has control of the zones here, but I'm honestly not sure. There we go. So it does finally go in favor of Team Saikai. I wasn't sure how Olive was able to keep it for that long, but Team Saikai was actually able to push in with their map control and take control of the zones. And now it seems like we're going back to more of a neutral game.
Yeah, and somewhat odd in that sense. But either way, Nike going to push up on this left side, get the 1v1 slat onto Brandon here. He'll spot out that Inkchip is going to have to play a little bit of a delayed game here. He doesn't really spot out too many players here on this left side, and actually has a lot of room, if only he knew, to kind of make a flank. But either way, he's going to make the call to push towards the middle. Chip is going to get the brush onto him. And Saikai, once again, getting control, just seemingly like that. Team Olive now going to have to respond and get to the middle of the map as soon as possible, because as the longer they wait, the longer Saikai has to push up with 4Gamer here with the Splatbrella. Unfortunately enough for Team Olive, they might not be able to get there in time to prevent this Yeah, they're
washing machine down. That's also the Stingray is also down. See, this is the situation that Olive does not want to be in, and they are getting out of it nicely. As I was saying earlier, Team Olive is very, very good at dealing with being in base block, and it's kind of that expertise that was able to push them out of this. Because Saikai is not an easy team to push on against when these guys have control of your map. And Team Olive just did a fantastic job actually pushing out of that. So very, very good work there. But it's up to them to keep control. Can they keep control?
With 4 points left to go, it looks like they might have clutched out keeping the lead, and they will. They stacked that 26-point penalty on top of Team Olive, but that's just another moment of the many tumultuous ones on a BLACKBELLY game. We do see that Inkship available for Chip, but not able to pop it in time. Sandy was going to spot him out and call him out, just like that.
Okay, so he did die right as the Inkstorm came out. That could have been huge, but no, it's just going to be just Umbrella. Saikai, as actually he is able to take those zones. He's going to delay Team Olive's push a little bit here. 4Gamer doing a very, very good job of that. And Saikai did have some opportunities to respawn there. Looks like Olive is probably going to get control of these zones.
Watch out for Brandon here. He made the flank and call for a flank, and it's going to at least bring 2 members from Olive towards him. That's important in and of itself.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge. Because now Saikai can push in and take those zones. But it looks like Brandon's going to be fighting Dude here. Dude able to win
it doesn't
the
matter.
flank with the 1v1. Yeah, it doesn't matter because Saikai, they also dropped another player. They couldn't get control of the zones. And I'm honestly not sure how that could have happened because Team Olive they had 2 players dealing with Brandon on the flank, but they did such a good job at holding the zones at the same time. And now Urza finding a pick on the Umbrella. This is huge. Team Olive is playing phenomenal right now. They're going to take the lead because of it.
Yeah, nicely done on their part to actually be able to, Brandon had that nice flank there, and it almost seemed to do the job. But unfortunately for Saikai, we couldn't see it on our screens, but the fight for the zones must have just gone already for them, not able to actually win what was probably a 3v2 from what I remember. And from that, they unfortunately are going to go down just like that.
Okay, but that Inkstorm on the side of Saikai is going to be huge because they just used the Inkstorm on pretty much the entire defensive line of Olive. If you look at the way that they're placing themselves around the map, they're using their side of mid very, very well. They have Dude up there, they have Sendo up there, and they're making it very, very difficult for Saikai to push past that line. And when you throw up the Inkstorm right there, it's going to make them move away from that spot. It's specifically because of that Saikai was able to push in and take control of the zone.
No penalty applied as of right now, but Saikai are fighting for their lives. It looks like they are in control and they need to hold on for quite a bit longer, but it's a 3v4 and they can't spot out Team Olive right now. It looks like they're taking to one side of the zone, but 2 of them go down, and it looks like Team Olive is going to be able to apply that penalty with 20 seconds left to go. Team Olive is seeming to grant their way towards grand finals right now, or losers finals, sorry, as we should be seeing with 10 seconds left to go. They have complete control of the map, and Saikai with 4Gamer left to go, 4Gamer on the right side of the map.
They need to neutralize that zone.
But
okay, they neutralize. They need overtime, though. They can't get overtime unless they grab their other zone, but no, Team Olive, they're going to be taking Game 5 over Team Saikai pretty convincingly. They held a very, very strong defense there, and it looks like Saikai just couldn't break through it. My goodness, the resilience for Team Olive to actually come out on top out of all of those team fights, and towards the end, in almost a turf war fashion, where the only parts of the match that matter are towards the last minute. In that last minute, they were able to step their foot down and keep it there. Absolutely, and it was really interesting because, as we said, when Saikai starts holding a base lock, it's very difficult to push out of it. And they had that base lock, but Olive was able to deal with it. They dealt with it very quickly, too. Like, Saikai didn't really get much time or distance off of it because they got the team wipe. They started base locking Olive, but Olive immediately pushed it up. They didn't waste any time. They found the picks that they needed to. They had good coordination and good communication to be able to push it back into the middle. And I think if Saikai was able to hold that for just, 10, 15 seconds longer, it would have been a totally different game. Yeah, totally different game indeed. But regardless, that is the result. As tumultuous as BLACKBELLY is, that map is going to go over to Team Olive, and they're going to move towards the losers finals as they take on Ethereal. That I'm looking at, losers finals, grand finals. These are teams that, if you were to slate teams for where they end up at the end of it all, I would have put Quantum surely in top 12. I definitely wouldn't have put them in grand finals off the bat. That's insane, especially out of winners bracket. The thing about the winners bracket in this tournament was a little bit interesting, as if you were able to make it out of your pool as the top team in your pool, you only had to go through 2 games to get to grand finals, and that's the position that Quantum found themselves in. They were able to take the game off of Rising Moon. They were able to take it off of Ethereal in a very close set, and because of that, they're sitting in the grand finals right now in a very quick winners bracket run for them. Whereas the losers bracket on the bottom side of things, that's where people need to make the long runs.
Right. I mean, we look at this matchup, or at least we look at Quantum in the grand finals kind of looming ahead. They actually played Team Olive and came out on top 2-1 in their pools bracket final. So obviously a team to be reckoned with, especially considering Team Olive is sitting one step away from them at the Real. In the meantime, they've had incredibly impressive sets as well.